Thank you so much, Haley. Thank you, everybody. I am so honored to be here today, especially with the esteemed panel of speakers that has already gone before me and who's going to come. So thank you so much for this opportunity to stand alongside you and share my story. Today, my talk is going to be more of my entrepreneurial story. How did I get here? I love talking about Joberfer, but I'm going to leave that to the end. I've got 3 themes that I'd like to cover, and the first one is about connecting the dots. So, when I qualified as a chartered accountant in Dublin, in Ireland, I was placed 3rd in Ireland and 14th in the world. You know, there was hundreds of thousands of students that wrote the exams with me across the world, and it was one of my greatest academic moments to get those results. The very next day, I had 5 job offers from all Big 4 accounting firms, including PricewaterhouseCoopers, where I was working at the time, and Investec Ireland. I chose Investec Ireland because I am born and raised South African, and my heart resonated with working at a South African investment bank in Ireland, and I was very curious to learn investment banking. And so I took up that job opportunity, had an extremely successful career, worked there for 5 years, and my husband got a job offer to relocate to Calgary, Alberta. And so my employer was, sure, no problem, go explore. If you want to come back, your job is available to you. I said, that's wonderful. So we relocated to Calgary, and I was so confident that I was going to get a job here. I had my little 1-year-old with me, and I got her set up into daycare, transitioned her well, and just waiting. It's just going to be a matter of days, weeks, that I'm going to be into full-time employment again. And it never happened. It was unbelievable. Like, after never having to look for a job in my life, I was in a situation that was just unknown to me. It was one of the most deeply frustrating, disheartening, discouraging experiences coming to Calgary trying to find work. And I just couldn't understand it. I had Big 4 work experience, I had investment banking experience, I have academic qualifications, and I just cannot find a job. But what I did find was opportunity with my husband's network. He's a physician, and all the clinics that he worked at was, please, can you help us find doctors? Like, you're from South Africa, you're in Ireland, you probably know people. And we did know people. And so organically, I started connecting international medical graduates with practice opportunities in Alberta. And that was my first step into the whole jobs market, the jobs industry, and really discovering what it meant to become an entrepreneur. And so now today, sharing the story and looking back, I reflect and remember Steve Jobs' speech that he gave at the Stanford graduation, where he says, you can't connect the dots looking forward, but you can certainly connect it back when you're looking backwards. And today when I stand here, being the founder of Joberfer, it was one of the best things that happened to me, not actually getting a job when I landed in Calgary, because I probably would be in full-time employment at this stage and not discovered my passion for entrepreneurship. The inspiration that got me here today was the problem I experienced, but out of that problem was the joy and love of finding and building solutions that did not exist at the time. So that leads me into my second story that I'd love to share. When life throws you lemons, make lemonade. So what happened was, I was successful at connecting international medical graduates with practice opportunities in Alberta. And then suddenly, the College of Physicians and Surgeons changed the rules that only Alberta Health Services is now able to sponsor these international doctors into Alberta. And so that completely cut that business, although it was going so well. And I had to decide which direction I was going in. I was expecting my second child, and I decided, okay, I'm going to take a little leave of absence right now, enjoy my maternity, and I will figure it out. My son turned 2 years old, and I remember clearly on the 1st of February, I put him into daycare. I came straight home, and I looked at my inbox, inbox, and it was overflowing. Even up to today, I've got thousands of emails from different healthcare authorities, from different clinics asking me, please help us find people. And I said, they don't have to ask me. If I'm out of commission, there has to be a better way. And so I whipped up my laptop and I said, I'm going to build a website. And 3 hours into on Wix, trying to build my website called Locum Link to connect healthcare job seekers and employers, I found out that there was no plugin for a job board, and I'm not a developer, I can't wing it, so who can help me? And I realized that Workopolis was Canada's largest job board provider, so I just called him. I said, I'm a female entrepreneur based here in Calgary, Alberta. I have this vision to fill healthcare jobs faster. And I would love to partner with you because I need a job board technology and I just cannot build it myself. In 2 calls, they agreed. It was on the 14th of February that they sent me a contract, which I signed, and they assigned a developer from their team. And we rolled out the platform. I had already built the front end. They built the back end to be seamless, matched what I did. And we essentially launched it on the 8th of March, International Women's Day. And it was amazing. I still remember that night. It was 8 o'clock, and I was writing to the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, to let him know that I'm a female entrepreneur here in Calgary, Alberta, and I have this vision to fill healthcare jobs, and any help from the Canadian government would be greatly appreciated. He wrote back and said, congratulations, I'm putting you in touch with the Minister of Workforce Planning and Strategy, Patty Haiju at the time. She wrote back, said the same thing, and connected me with Services Canada Jobs Bank. And they sent me all the verified healthcare jobs across Canada to publish on my site. And it was such a wonderful success story that from day one, there was no valley of death. There was no going down, coming up. Our revenue curve was just going up because I'm partnered with the largest job board. They have boots on the ground. They have salespeople. We were generating revenue from day one. And then I remember very clearly, it was the 5th of April, I get a call from Andrea Ziegler, who's the president of Workopolis, telling me that they've just been purchased by Indeed, the world's largest job board. And I have 60 days to turn off my technology because they are unable to service us any longer. I was like, you cannot be serious. Why did you even enter into this agreement if you're going to tell me that we're going to be turning off our technology in 60 days? Well, this is a high-profile market transaction, and nobody was, privy to this information. And when they made the decision, which was on that day, they were now informing their network partners. And so, essentially, I needed to find a new service provider. And long story short, I was able to find a new service provider. I had to rebrand the name because I was talking to Alberta Health Services at the same time, and they suggested rebranding to make it a more wide-spread type of name. And we rebranded under healthjobhub.com, and we launched that in July 2018. And soon after launching, I got the support and endorsement from Alberta Health Services, Vancouver Coastal Health, right through to Nova Scotia Health Authority. Basically, every health authority across Canada supported us. But here's the curveball. None of them will pay you to publish their jobs on your site. So being a startup who is fully bootstrapped, we need to generate revenue. And it was our medical clinics who were the ones that stood by us and continued paying us for the service we were delivering them. And what happened was Alberta Innovate stepped in and said, well, listen, why don't we focus on those medical clinics and figure out how we could make them more successful? And that was the birth of Joberfer. Essentially, Joberfer is a platform where we did research to find what's the #1 channel to produce qualified applicants for these very in-demand type of positions and very hard to fill. And we found that 88% of all employers across industries confirmed that referrals was the #1 source of qualified hires for the medical clinics. And so we decided to focus our technology solution on democratizing referrals to jobs. And we did research and we found that none of the major job board platforms such as Indeed or LinkedIn has a systemized process to track the referral from start to finish, and to also encourage the interaction of other type of people, not just job seekers and employers, but people with networks to unlock their networks. There was no system in place that was of the scale and magnitude that we're aspiring to, available servicing the market. So that's the gap we are trying to fill. And I'm so happy to share that it's been 180 days since launching, and we've been able to successfully validate our solution. And we've been able to now decide that we would love to go to market, and we are building our strategy around that. Essentially, we found that our employers who's working with us, they use traditional recruiters. Traditional recruiters would normally charge between 18 and 22% of a first year salary, and that could result in between $27,000 to $33,000 in a spend based on a $150,000 salary. Our platform is disrupting that business model. We're not a vanilla job board, nor are we a traditional recruiter. We're a platform that is partnering with people, and we're putting money back into people's pockets to unlock your networks, to bring us top talent for our employers to hire. I know I'm running out of time. I would love to share more, but catch me outside if you'd like to find out a little bit more information. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I really appreciate it. Thank you.